I'm John Wathen, and I'm your Hurricane Creek Keeper. We're standing in Uniontown, Alabama, a town that exists of probably about 6 or 8 city blocks total. As you can see, a great majority of the businesses right here on the main strip are closed. It's one of the most economically distressed regions of the Black Belt. Jobs are a critical factor in this area. There's a lot of people that are not working that need to be working. These businesses need to be open. But the jobs that are coming here are not the jobs that this county thinks they need. These are temporary jobs from an industry that has the potential to pollute the area and leave them even more destitute than they are today. Clean coal is a dirty lie. And unfortunately, Uniontown, Alabama is the next victim of that lie. Just like Kingston, Tennessee, when you try to get in to find the truth, the police are at both gates. City police officers are blocking both gates to a publicly used landfill. Why? You see the TVA train in the background carrying the ash from Kingston, Tennessee.
President, yes, sir. Y'all got a PR guy for your police department? A PR person for your police department?
What do you mean?
For the Uniontown police? You don't have like someone that deals with the press there?
No.
No? How many men you got in your department? How big is it?
How many?
How big is the department?
About 12.
12. We got a pretty sky for pictures today. I guess we'll go. When did any idea when the train's coming in and out down here?
No, sir.
Uniontown, Alabama. Here ahead.
Glynn, why do you think he asked you for identification standing out here on public property? We're not on the landfill property.
Well, we were asking questions about his facility, so he wanted to know who to tell whoever he's calling who I am. Of course, nobody knew the coal ash was coming when y'all were just fighting the landfill. It was just a landfill, right?
Well, a feeling kind of permeates that there's nothing else to do. Then this coal ash contract pops up, and folks got excited and upset about that again. When we were fighting the landfill, we had some local people to contend with.
Right.
This is more of a national thing. When EPA gets in it, TVA and these kind of heavy hitters, right, we really feel like we've been run over. And we have been thrown under the bus down here on this end of this county. Perry County is a small county in terms of population. It's a rural county in that it's more rural than urban. Always was, always will be. We've got some natural resources, but we don't have coal that made Jefferson County and Birmingham a major city because of iron ore. We don't have a navigable river, so we're not going to have that type of industrial base, textiles or anything else.
So
but like what we do have is good water quality and good air quality, and we're fixing to be forced to sacrifice that.
Right.
I kind of got it figured. We ain't going to be able to generate enough electricity from oil because of the pricing structure. It's going to take too long, and no telling what it'll cost to go solar and wind power. Looks to me like some kind of way we got to figure out how to burn coal more efficiently that it's not a problem. But I would fault them on their waste disposal practices. They got to come up with something better. Same thing with nuclear. There's no problem with nuclear power, except the nasty, unspoken problem of what do you do with the waste. Now we got to hurry up and get that answer.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer to coal is not to find the pole counties and ship the waste down out of them, in the ground, under the ground, on top of the ground.
Well, that is the answer. That's what they're doing.
Well, that's what so far.
But you don't like T-Boone Pickens'
Pardon me?
You don't like T-Boone Pickens' idea of the you know, natural gas being the bridge and wind being the bridge to the...
Yeah, but I wish he'd get consistent. He got... In other words, is he going to stick, is Boone Pickens going to stick with natural gas? Or is he going to fold like he did on wind? He pretty well folded on wind.
He's in that business.
Well, he's got a business turning him out, and he's got to stay with it a little bit. But he ain't leading that parade like he was there for a while. None of my involvement with cap and trade or opinions about cap and trade or the issue of burning coal or not, none of it has to do with the environment, really. It has to do with my environment, right, him. But in the global sense, I'm not a global environmentalist. But I'll even support that, yes. If natural gas will provide a bridge and be better for the environment, looks like a perfect answer to me.
But meanwhile, you weren't able to defeat these people that want this with, you know, so they're now bringing down.
Well, see, they have
85 train cars full of coal ash just came through Birmingham. We got pictures of it.
Right.
And it's now coming to your landfill. And this stuff, we know, is pretty toxic. And if once it gets airborne, especially, you know, it causes that TVA crud. I got it myself from half a day of taking pictures on the Emory River. I had to have serious, you know, prescription cost stuff to get rid of that crap.
Now let me ask you this. Young Murdock here lives about, it ain't a mile.
I can stand on my porch and look in the land.
Yeah, but not where they putting this though.
Coal land.
He lives within a mile of where they're putting it in the ground now.
Right. Are you concerned about your job?
Yes, I'm concerned. I had cancer one time.
He's concerned. My question is, what do you, in terms of airborne,
what can I do about it?
How big a radius do we need to be concerned about around this?
Well, John might be better equipped to answer that than I am, but I mean, it's airborne and waterborne. You got to worry about the water table. You're doing catfish farming.
I'm not, you know, I'm not certain about what kind of area, as far as the airborne problems, what it might cause, because you don't have a fixed environment for it. If we get a really dry period in here, where you don't have rain like we did last year, we went, you know, several weeks with no rain. This stuff is going to dry down, and it's going to become airborne with a strong wind gust.
So you live right next to it.
Living right next to it, as close as you are. Should this stuff become airborne? Yes, I would be very concerned for my health living there, very much so. Because in Kingston, we're having people that are sick.
A young lady that writes for the Marion newspaper went up there to Harriman, and was there about a half a day, nosing around and looking and whatnot. She and a friend of hers went. She came back and they were sick. She claims to have that crud that you're talking about.
I got it in half a day and taking.
And she says everybody up there she talked to was sicker than hell.
Everybody's got it. In half a day of being there, I had to stop in Cherokee, North Carolina on my way back, and I got a druggist to give me the prescription, the small bottle of the prescription cough medicine that they have to give them up there to take. And I had to take it, but you couldn't take it while you were driving because it seriously will put you to sleep. You know, it's medicated, serious cough stuff. I forget what the ingredient it had in it, but anyway, I mean, it got rid of it after 3 or 4 days. You know, that bottle of cough medicine after getting away from it. Imagine just living it. You guys are going to be living it.
But I think, so, and this is purely selfish motivation based on the circumstances. But I think if it's all right in the community where you live, or the state where you live, the county where you live, if it's all right to build a nuclear power plant, it ought to be all right to store the material there.
Right.
Or already have a plan for where you're going to put that material. Now, I think if you want a coal burning plant, if you're located in an area that a coal burning electric plant will benefit the area, then there's a negative to it. You gotta you got to have a plan or a place to dispose of it. You don't just come up with out of necessity down the road and dump it on somebody that doesn't want it. That's I don't know, but I'm no constitutionalist, but it doesn't. It looks like it breaks the Constitution for one set of people. Well, it's not racial and it's not gender bias or anything else, but when one set of people
it's economic,
has a bias against another set and dumps garbage or coal ash that they don't want, that ought to be against the law. I think it is.
To the Emory River on December the 27th and took water samples, we found 300 times the allowable limits of arsenic in that water. We found multiple heavy metals, mercury, things like this. We're talking about more debris collectively than both World Trade Towers when they came down. That much debris that is known to be toxic is coming to your county and being placed out here.
Small amounts, but 35,000 railroad cars of it adds up. You add up.
Fish farmer, what's your concern about the liners?
That is, I've forgotten the village, but it's pretty thick liner material, so they're kind of confident about that. They're also quoting that site as being Sumter chalk and a limestone base in there and so forth, and basically impenetrable, and just like a natural lead coffin almost. That may be an appropriate description of what it is, but they're saying it's going to be, the likelihood of ground penetration is very remote. Now, I tend to think, I know this country in here, and this ground cracks. This ground cracks. It's in the constant process of cracking. 12 months I have no confidence in the liner. I have no confidence in the dirt. I have no confidence in.
I mean, I know people need jobs and the economy needs something.